What does empowerment mean for you in a full general landscape of Baron's point of view?
That's so because of my role, it's right. Leadership requires a lot of empowerment, self empowerment, also empowering others. I say this to the marketing directors I work with. I say this to the other fractional CMOs I'm mentoring. Leadership doesn't mean having all the right answers. It means, first of all, admitting you don't, empowering yourself to make decisions, to be accountable for your decisions and actions, and to also empower others to be accountable for the decisions and actions that they're taking. Empowerment means that we can all do more and better together if we learn to collaborate rather than to work against one another, right? Adopt this abundance mentality, the and, you and me can do this and that, right? We can have stability and instability. We can have predictability and growth. That's what empowerment means to me. A lot of people, they think empowerment is kind of like imposing or motivating. But motivation, when it's not intrinsic, when it comes externally, you rely on the motivation. You rely on somebody to empower you. If you don't hear that empowerment, if it stops, the leader's not around anymore, or now it's time for you to take on and assume a leadership role, and you don't have that intrinsically, you're not hearing it from top down, so you don't know how to, have that sort of mental framework, and then also to carry it forward and pass it on to the people working with you. I think that's where you get like a breakage. That's when you have a company where you have a lot of leaders and they're headless chickens. So how can you expect everything below them to operate smoothly and effectively? So I think empowerment is literally just all about being accountable and having conviction with yourself, with what you're doing. It really ties back to everything we talked about. Remembering a future in which you've achieved your goals, having conviction in what you're doing and going, being empowered by what you see, and then to empower others to not necessarily become the best version of what you think they could be, but to become the best version of themselves, to understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, to understand how you can leverage everyone's strengths and weaknesses to lift up to raise the bar. So that's what empowerment means to me.
There's a lot of power in what you said there, because you think about empowerment, you hear it a lot in the women's groups, right? Female empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mainstream view of it. There's a extremist view of it.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into all of that because I know they'll come. They'll come for me.
Yeah.
But it's just saying that when you look into your community, I see this a lot of times happen. You'll be in spaces, women will hype each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't seem to have that same practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's because we're like, it's a form of being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more men have to do that.
I agree.
It goes even past social media, sharing your friend's post or the content creator's post. But have you checked in with 5 people that you're very consistent with?
Yeah.
And empowering them and saying, hey, listen, I see what you got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I have two connects in New York. One I don't talk to all the time. It's every literally maybe 3 to 4 months. And it's just how it is. There's no beef, no nothing. But when he checks in, and when I knew the how that relationship is, he was in my gaming community. And when he was on a boat, we were just messing around on a boat. And one of the other guys that we gamed with, they were like, yo, what's Rory doing? But they called me with my gamer tag at the time. And they actually FaceTimed me, but I couldn't get to the call because I was working. And how the iPhone setup has the recording.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that and it warmed my heart. Because it's like, it was empowerment.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, it was like, hey, yo, we're just checking in. It's like, yo, we see what you're doing, da-da-da-da-da, this and that. And we need more of that as men in a collective group.
I agree.
Empower the right ones that are around you,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I feel like we are conditioned, could
Mm-hmm.
be through society, could be through a whole bunch of this projection, maybe ego. It is what it is. But we never want to empower other specific men
Mm-hmm.
because maybe we want to be in their spot.
Yeah.
But we never ask ourselves this question is, how do I get to where they're at?
Yeah.
Am I asking the right questions? Am I checking in?
Yeah.
Am I picking up the phone, calling Baron, calling Rory, texting Baron,
Mm-hmm.
texting Rory, yo, what up?
Yeah.
How you been?
Yeah.
Because we're so, well, let's be reserved. I'm just gonna sit back and just watch.
Yeah.
But then say, yo, we're cool, but realistically we're not cool. It's weird energy
Mm-hmm.
that we're just continuously just extrapolating with each other.
Or we're very civil, but we just like to get together and get time and shoot the shit
That
instead
part.
of being like intentional about the how we spend each
You see
other's.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the reason why now, like, I used to make fun of folks. This is kind of putting everything into one.
Mm-hmm.
I used to look at a lot of folks and be like, they go to movies by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now I go to movies by myself. I go to movies by myself because it's my sanctuary. It's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Right? I could be dating could be a girlfriend I'm dating, could be my wife. If she doesn't want to see the movie, I'm just gonna go by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know ladies probably listen to be like, why? Take her. She wants to go. No. It's just sometimes, you know what? I'm not gonna risk that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just let me go do what it is I need to go do. Because I know you're probably gonna want to go out there and do something else. Like I don't want to sit there all night and watch Greg's Anatomy reruns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. We're not doing that. Right? I respect nurses, I respect people in the health department, but I'm not watching Grey's Anatomy. So if I'm not watching Grey's Anatomy, I'm not gonna take you this movie.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna be like under the covers when you get home. I like thrillers, I like horror movies,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be like whatever. But we're gonna both empower each other,
Yeah.
and that's why I said sometimes it's always good to understand who you are,
Mm-hmm.
be in the community,
Yeah.
like where we're recording here.
Yeah.
This is all. It's all community, and sometimes it's just by liking a person's post.
Mm-hmm.
To where it goes into a comment,
Yeah.
where it then goes into a DM,
Yeah.
where then it goes into voice note, where it then goes into a phone call conversation and text messaging.
Yeah.
Like, heck, I operate off of 2 phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at my phone when we came here, and I'm like, wait, who's this number? I was like, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
I never coded your number in because our one and only conversation that we had,
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, let me lock Baron in now
Mm-hmm.
because there's more that's going to happen after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I say to folks, be in the right frame of mind.
Yes.
Lower the bar, lower the ego. Obviously, protect yourself and whatever, because there's a lot of opportunistic people out there. But it's like, figure out what it is you want. How you gonna get there? How you gonna make things happen?
Mm-hmm.
But close this out, my guy.
I'm in a couple of communities. Some of them are free local communities of just guys. There's one called the Brotherhood. These 3 guys decided to start it because of this exact reason. Because guys like to get together and have a good time, but when it comes down to being vulnerable, being open, sharing challenges with one another, this is something that high performers and high achievers do, but typically people don't do that because they go about their day not even thinking in this way. So they started this community called the Brotherhood. Shout outs Tristan, Armando, Arnold. I'm in this community of 23 guys. Every day we do our goals. All you got to do, no big deal. Just a check emoji in the group chat. And then every Sunday, tonight, I'm going to be doing like a weekly recap. Everyone does it. We read each other's. We try to see if there's any way we can help each other out. That's one. There's another one, Art of Mondays. I'm in that community. It's a paid community. It's pretty pricey. And there's like requirements to get in. You got to make $50K per month in order to, it's pretty tough to get into. However, it's a worldwide community, global. These guys are based in Australia, the founders. So tonight, it's a Sunday for all the people watching. Tonight at 9:30 p.m., I'm going to be getting on this call, this monthly call with these guys.
Which would be Monday their time.
Monday their time, exactly. That's why they call it the Art of Mondays. They love Mondays. And we get on this call. We're doing a guided meditation. We're setting goals. We're seeing if there's any way that we can help each other, fellow entrepreneurs. It doesn't have to be in person, like, for example, I have with these guys at the Brotherhood. It can be virtual.
Facts.
But at the end of the day, you surround yourself, whether physically or virtually, around other people. It's really going to impact. Again, Other people impact the beliefs that you have. These opinions, they come from somewhere, and you either choose to hold them dear or to let them go. You consider whether or not their opinion is better than yours or if yours is better than theirs. But if you're not in a community, you're not getting um, any of this sort of stimulus. So if you're in a community, you get propelled forward no matter what, because people are doing something, whether you agree with it or not, you kind of figure out how you want to carve your own path. So I highly recommend, just like you're saying, just to wrap this up, highly recommend for everybody to get yourself in a community or multiple communities, people who have values similar to yours. If you see alignment in values, that's a really good green flag. Join, see how you can contribute. If everyone is intent on growing, raising the bar, that's a really good sign. Get involved and inspire others, empower them, empower yourself, get inspiration. And this is how we can all lift each other up and do better.
Jeez, love it.